Season 2 tonight was a what do you call a 5-header? So there's a triple header and then a
After
quadruple.
quad, I lose track of it.
Is it quinta or is
Penta.
it penta?
Oh, quite ironically,
Oh,
Penta.
of course. If
Oh,
only
Vegas
Penta
got a
had have
win.
been playing. I'm so glad that I'm not having to cast Penta versus Panthers anymore. That thing was a nightmare. But look, where the pistol round will start. SK versus E-Frag, as we said, and it looks as though the pressure from E-Frag is going to come towards the A main side of things. You can see 3 of them grouping up there through the wall with X-ray vision. Of course, SK Gaming not having the vision we share with the illuminated models through those walls to let us know where they're going. And E-Frag decided that actually I don't really want to take A main. They're going to go back and boost over mid and try and make this one work, but NKL won't pick it all until both of his teammates are up and ready, but they will make their way back towards A. So definitely an A hit, and SK in terms of Pimp and his teammate in A are going to have their work cut out for him as the smokes and flashes rain out. Moddy's actually got quite an advanced position, pushing through the B holes, but the bomb should come out in A, and Victor, who was an absolute beast yesterday for them, has picked up the first kill before being traded out by Magic Boy, and now SK will find themselves on the normal end of a 4 versus 4, but Freese has been binked in mid, and this will cost him dearly. And look at this plant here for E-Frag. They've got 3 players still in mid, but the bomb's down in ace. This is quite an awkward round coming out. Moddy has no idea what's going on. He's run into an enemy just sitting behind the mid box. Freese will go down as well. This is a great start for E-Frag to this round as NKL picks up a silly on Magic Boy goes down, and brilliant start to the game for E-Frag. That's what we've come to expect from this very talented roster.
Yeah, the secret to that round was certainly the plant. I mean, you commented quite accurately the fact that there were 3 members of E-Frag there in mid. That was because the plant was actually wide in the open, easy to cover from long range there from the highway. Great awareness from the E-Frag members there. I did like the adjustment from SK. We actually saw Magisboy yesterday on their case match against Penta that they won decisively, opting to almost commit to the A side in a 3-1-1 setup. He was the sole member in A playing from quad box. The adjustment tonight was the fact that he actually opted to back off a little bit, play a little bit more defensively to allow his teammates to support him. He got 1 frag in the end, but all too much to do as he did go down. We do see now SK on an eco. They've got a few pistols, even armor for a couple of the sharper players in the form of Magisboy and Moddy. And these are the sort of players they've got so much talent on their roster from 1 to 5 that you wouldn't want to count them out almost regardless of what weapons they've got in hand.
That's certainly right. SK with an incredible amount of individual talent here, and I guess they're pretty... You don't see this very often. E-Frag have elected not to go for any SMGs at all. They've got 3 Galils and 2 AKs, so they have read this 4 spy coming out here from SK. They fully expect them to be geared up to the hilt with those pistols and armor. Only 2 of them have committed to the pistol armor buy, but nonetheless, it'll be Magic Boy taking down Spy Leader with an instant 1-bullet Deagle frag, and now Dreamer will pick up, it should be the easy kill, and does, but this is danger signs here for E-Frag. They're headed into a loaded gun here at A.
Well, that's right. There's actually 3 members there on the site, and NKL doing a good job of actually clearing it out. He's got the first, doesn't quite get the second there onto Moddy, but crucially would have got that information, which can filter through to his teammates. But Moddy, the Swedish aim star, does get a nice double onto Dreamer there before ultimately the pinch from Victor proving to be his downfall in the end, as he did swoop in on the side and get 2 nice frags for himself, but flirting moments of danger there for Team E-Frag. And really the T side, you pointed out in the pre-game that the opportunity we did have to provide some context for the match, that E-Frag have struggled with consistency so far in counterpit. Well, it's been more so on their terrorist side in which they've struggled. We've seen some really up and down performances. Their CT is pretty much a given, you know what to expect, but their T side, it's just been not quite there. The teamwork hasn't been quite there. So I think for these sides, it's probably important now on the T side of Case that they have to a strong start tonight with so much variety on this match.
And Victor's been an absolute beast. So what hasn't been up and down is his performance on the T side generally, as Spy Leader picks up a double, and Dreamer will also pick up a kill. And this should be pretty easy action coming out here for the Terrorists finishing off this one. E-Frag will get the plant down. It's a 3 versus 1. And there shouldn't be too much more going the way of SK this round, but you never know what can happen in CSGO with these pistols.
We see just a Sicilian left alive, so it's only a matter of time, you'd have to think. He does get a nice headshot there onto Dreamer, but his time is surely limited on this earth as he makes his presence known, as if the T's needed any more advantage apart from the armor, the weaponry, the utility that they already have to support them. Also knowing where he is will certainly help their cause, but you only feel as he does pick up an SMG that it's just a matter of time and that it proves to be. But Pete, as we move now onto the first gun round, what we saw yesterday from SK, because they were dominant against Penta on this map, on their CT side in particular, they were really aggressive. And it was as though they were pushing almost any choke point. They had that confidence and that swagger about them. They really backed themselves to take and win those kills. I'm curious to see now, as we come up to this matchup with eFrag, a more formidable opponent, whether they keep that sort of attitude and confidence going.
They definitely should, because Freese has been AWPing the lights out. And you can see Modi here pretty quickly moving into the B bomb site on top of those boxes, on top of his teammate to get a spot into that toxic/glass room here at B. And he will spot it out. See nothing at all here, nothing at all. So he'll get an early call out to his team that there isn't much going on at B. But that being said, there's not much going on anywhere for eFrag as they elect to hold back and just really expect maybe the aggression you were talking about, Nick, from the SK lineup.
Yeah, normally I'd say this would be quite a strange and really, really passive setup, but I think you're exactly right. I think this is eFrag recognising and potentially learning from what SK did yesterday against Penta and trying to combat that.
Yeah, you'd be a fool to think that with an international berth on the line for eFrag, them having to go 2-0, that they wouldn't have watched the SK game. That would be silly to assume that teams at this level don't do their research and preparation. But it will be Freese picking up Bubble to start off the round, and Magic Boy will be forced out of his favourite position by a Molotov, and NKL will come out this door. So it looks to be an A squeeze here once again for eFrag, and SK in decent position to stop it, but it'll be Victor, the Beast, coming up short, taking down the AWP and Freeze, not before Magic Boy will pick up one. NKL rolling out that door and picking up a kill as well as Cillion trading nicely, and it's now a 3 versus 1. Make that 3 versus 2 as Dreamer moves his way around the truck.
Well, it's all left up to the man now, isn't it? But he's running out of time. So he's only got 15 seconds left, and no longer does he have any time left as Pimp does get that AWP onto Dreamer there. Curious to see Pimp. I mean, I'd imagine that he would throw that AWP back to Freeze. He did AWP previously. His hand was almost forced when he was in Dignitas, when MSL joined forces and gave him that role, but he wasn't comfortable doing so. He much prefers to be a rifler, and we can now see he has shuffled that weapon back to Freeze, and we'll use that M4A1S.
There's no reason to take this one away from Freeze. He's not only been great tonight with a couple of opening kills already with that AWP, but he's been great throughout this tournament and for this team. So there's no reason to take that away. And as you said, Pimp, such a great, versatile player. Just because you're good at AWPing doesn't mean you should be the AWPer all the time. And Freeze shows him why. He picks up one. Can he pick up the second? He doesn't. Great trading there from Spy Leader and eFrag make their way into A. There is one late boost, and Cillion will get taken down by NKL on that boost spot. But not before Cillion managed to find a kill, and now it's a 2 versus 2, and the CTs actually have an advantage here with a late player coming from mid, but Modi's going to have to hurry up, otherwise he will fall victim to his flank, but he's aware of it. He moves around the box, and he's caught in 2 minds, but great movement here from Modi, unfortunately just not able to make that kill work for him. Spy Leader with decent positioning here, he'll end it, and a very close round there for SK. Could have gone either way, but eFrag pick it up and pull that one out of the fire.
I mean, credit to eFrag. They did a great job of winning that 2v2, but the awareness of Modi, I think as he moved up highway, he actually saw where that bomb was planted for. And bearing in mind that eFrag actually did a similar sort of strategy slash game plan on that pistol round, where they actually planned for highway and sent all those members to mid. I think Modi reflected back on that positioning because he had so much awareness there to check behind him as he moved up towards the bomb. Ultimately, he couldn't make that frag, and it proved to be he and his team's downfall. And we see now SK on a force buy, but up against this aggression of eFrag, it's not much resistance.
Yeah, also the player from eFrag did get a kill from up the boost. So there was a 50% chance he dropped down and gone back to mid. And he played those percentages really well. It was more about the timing for me of what he did. It was a well-crafted round where he took into consideration, well, we haven't heard any gunfire from A main yet, so therefore the player must have gone back to mid and he swiveled around. Unable to make the kill, and eFrag cashing in here on this force buy, which is surprising for me, for SK. They've got such talent on their gun rounds and such power in their rifles and the individual play that force rounds for me are a little bit weird because they don't have all the utility they require to really make this work. And eFrag, although SK looked strong yesterday, eFrag, this has been the story of eFrag's season, hasn't it? The ability to look like this, look so good, look like an international standard team, and then have a complete meltdown on the next map. So whilst eFrag are doing really well at the moment, the pitfall of their season has been their inconsistency. So hopefully they can keep this one rolling over, and they've done a great job starting 5-1, maybe even 6-1 now with this eco coming out from SK.
Yeah, Frisk, of course, just having that for mass. But you're right. I mean, we know that eFrag can and have beaten top tier teams in the past. They've certainly shown that
Yep.
potential, especially when they've got their star players in the likes of Dreamer and Victor, who are both hitting their shots. I mean, that's never a question for these guys. All of a sudden, just recently, they have been struggling to get those 2-0s on the board, which has been quite puzzling for us, we certainly must say. But glad to see them starting out tonight in good fashion. Certainly, SK yesterday in their match was probably the best and highest standard of Counter-Strike in which we've seen so far as casters during the Counterpit season. So I'm really looking forward to this match. I think it's important though for SK. You raised a great point for me that they're at their best with all the talent that they have in their roster, surely when they're best equipped. I don't really like that force buy that we saw from them in the previous round, and it's now almost crippled them as we move into this round now, on round number 7. You can see eFrag just taking their time. They're not sure just yet. They probably suspect that SK are on Eco, but they don't yet have that information. But shortly as they move towards A, they will have that confirmed for them.
Yeah, and I guess certainly for us as casters and analysts in this game, as Dreamer picks up a double, NKL will clear out this A side pretty easily. Modi will get one, but it'll be of no consequence. Certainly as commentators and as analysts of this game, we're very critical of the force buy situation. It's not just that teams do it, it's that they do it without much of a plan. They will think to themselves, hey, we can buy this round, and they really won't think about the utility use or what they're buying and how they're going about it. SK, they're just forcing up for no real reason, spreading out, not taking any initiative, and the great teams who win a lot of those force buy rounds will have a very set plan about what they're going to do and how they're going to do it on those ecos, on the force buys, and that's crucial.
Well, now that SK can afford the force buy, it looks as though the plan for this round is to take control of mid. You can see they actually have both Pimp, Cillian, and Magisboy almost in a triangle fashion there, Illuminati style, as they try and lock down that choke point. But really, the intent there and the greater intent is almost to gain that map territory early and almost force the hand of eFrag into going and committing to a bomb site later on, but at least give them that flexibility to be able to rotate their CT members between both sides quite quickly. I think from an eFrag perspective, perhaps they were expecting some sort of aggression, not to be, and they will now regroup towards mid. Looks as though a boost is coming in.
Yeah, and it's funny how quickly you can be shaken off your game in terms of being a dominant CT team and pushing and getting all these frags and playing aggressive. The minute that you go down on the scoreboard, it just becomes that much harder to keep that confidence and keep that style of gameplay going because it's so risky. It can backfire on you, and SK have taken a much more defensive approach. You said they were so dominant yesterday. They're not looking like the same team at the moment, and this is reflected in their gameplay as eFrag make their way in towards B, and they've picked up both kills at B, maybe even a triple. Yes, it will be Spy Leader picking up Pimp, charging out that vent, and now it's a 5 versus 2, although Bubble and Spy Leader are both on single digits. It will be Victor pushing through that smoke, taking down Freeze, and it will be Magisboy all alone. 3 members of eFrag on single digits. So, I mean, this isn't really winnable, but, I mean, if you knew those healths, you could go for it, or at least try and do a lot of economical damage, but I think it's too far gone for Magicboy. He just needs to save his gun and try and get out of this one alive.
Yeah, he's certainly trying to save the gun. It's actually quite strange to see him in the context of lingering around the B side, but I think recognising that the terrorists will be charging towards A. I mean, on the overlay, you can see 2 members already clearing out A main, A site. I think it's just a really intelligent play there by Magisboy, just to delay leaving that bomb site. He will now do it to escape the radius of the bomb, save that weapon into the next round. But the biggest change that I can see at the moment, apart from the scoreline, which is the obvious difference between today's performance from SK and yesterday, on this very same map, on this very same side of CT, is the pace of the game. Yesterday, the rounds were just flying by. We said because they were being so aggressive. These rounds were just churning through. Went through a half in about 10 to 15 minutes, whereas at the moment, it just feels as though it's more suited to eFrag style. It's very, very slow. It's very methodical. And at the moment, SK can't quite take the jewels that they'd like. They're getting pushed around when push comes to shove.
Yeah, and that's the greatness. Oh, Freeze just pumped. Spy Leader with 2 bullets from his Silent USP, taking him down from 100 to 0. That's a fantastic kill. I mean, it is only 1 frag, and it's probably not going to dictate the outcome of the round, but what a piece of aim there by Freeze, able to make that pistol work for him before he goes down. Dreamer picking up 1 as well, so this round now cascading towards eFrag. But as you said, Nick, the control of the tempo is really going the way of eFrag. When they went defensive, and we talked about purpose before with the force buys, when eFrag went defensive, they just didn't go defensive for the sake of it. They were defensive in a very set structure, and after they figured out the push wasn't coming, they then very quickly got in position to take a bomb site or to make plays in the round. They weren't lingering, just doing nothing with the round. It was almost as if they were proactively defensive, if that makes any sense at all.
No, spot on. I agree with that sentiment. We saw them actually, towards the late round, just swarming onto sites after thwarting off that initial aggression. This time it will be Freeze. Does get the drop there onto Victor, but suspects, I should say, that there are more coming his way, and rightly so. You can see Majest Boy does drop. NKL Dreamer has found his way out to Forklift, and at the moment, SK doing a good job of really halting the aggression there from eFrag as they try and change up the tempo.
Yeah, Freese will still be alive, and he'll be the ultimate menace here, just sitting at the fence. The bomb goes down. Asilion able to get that one down. Pimp hitting a very handy AWP shot there up onto the roof in mid, but Asilion will take down Dreamer. It is 8-2. SK showing signs of life off the back of Freese's AWP pick in A main. And once again, eFrag just sort of walking into the crosshairs of SK, and if eFrag have shown us anything, it's that they're very good at adapting their T-side pace and responding to this sort of pressure. So maybe they'll go even faster this round and not give Freese the ability to get that pick just walking in. But turns out they've gone the other way, which is just as okay in my books. They've gone completely defensive, and they'll probably look for a set strategy later on in the round to take the bomb sites.
Yeah, from an eFrag perspective, I prefer this adjustment that you talked about. This is where they've had most of their success so far in the half, in terms of that almost, I think the words you used were almost that proactive defensive setup to begin with, where they're very, very mindful and conscious about making sure that everyone is holding for any pushes from a CT perspective, and then perhaps later on regrouping and then executing by force onto sites. That's certainly been their flavour of success for the night for these guys so far. But 8-2, they've already secured themselves a win in this half, and it looks as though they now will try and take control of mid here, Pete. The flashes and smokes are coming over.
Yeah, the pop flash from Muddy, they're a little bit too early, and he should get caught off guard here, but Victor and their teammates don't get out far enough around mid, and Modi will pick up one, but not before Spy Leader, and NKL will chip in as well, but Freese is left as a defender left in this bomb site, and there's a 2 versus 3, and both CTs have AWPs, so Freese is going to have to go massive. He picks up the first one. Can he convert on the second one? He picks up the AK. A nice quick change of weapons there from Freese. He's still dancing around that bomb crate, and there's a T right next to him. They're not able to spot each other out. Dreamer not finding an angle. He finally gets one, and Freese goes down, and the bomb plant will come in. Pimp 2 versus 1. That's going to be a decent grenade, and find a lot of damage there, and Pimp will take down the bomb planter before spotting out the last one. Not able to convert there on the AK Frag. Spy Leader just playing it ever so aggressively, and he will spot out nicely out of A main. Cut down the angle on Pimp, aggressively pushing. Great round there for eFrag to win, although it was a little bit shaky on their end.
I know that Spy Leader obviously had a chance beforehand to get that frag, getting the drop onto Pimp when he stepped out from A main, but that's honestly, as an ex-player, a former player, we both got to admit, I think that's a really frustrating way for Pimp to die in that instance, with the terrorists charging out of A main against all reason or authority, actually becoming the aggressor. The bomb's planted, he has no reason to charge out, and I think that would be the sort of death that would really irk and annoy Pimp as a player. He has bought into this round. The rest of his team are on Eco.
Yeah, but they're already on B. So eFrag have managed to find their way within 10 or 15 seconds into B. Dreamer, NKL, and the rest of the boys making short work, making mincemeat of the SKB defenses. They'll get the bomb down, comfortably defend this one. And you talked about the pace for SK, the half being over in 15 minutes. Well, we're not going to be far away from that, but on the other end of the spectrum.
I know, it's completely bewildering in that sense. You can see SK looked as though they were potentially going to go for a few frags. But Pete, can we just pause for a second? If we just think about that round, not literally pause it. Obviously, we don't want to disrupt the game. That would be bad of us as casters to be having that sort of influence.
That would be bad for us to knowingly pause the game just to give our analysis and input, and the players.
Despite how on point and accurate it may or may not be.
Despite how much we value our own words, correct. We don't think it's worth a pausing game.
But what I want to just suggest is that SK just force-fought into that round. You saw Pimp had that finesse, a few players had pistols, a few players had armor, but completely contrasting to earlier in the half where it was more of a concerted effort to buy into it. In that previous round, it was like Pimp went off on his own and made that own decision to buy. You can see going into this round, the money. There was such a disparity across all the CTs there. Freeze could afford an AWP, but Pimp had about 2.3k his own. Had to rely on a teammate to drop him. So it was though last round it was almost that individual decision for players to buy. That cohesion is not there at the moment. Players making their own decisions.
They are making their own decisions. There's Modi, who is a very aggressive CT player, jumps up on that box. Brilliant one-way smoke there. Takes down Bubble nice and early, but it still will be a B-site hit coming in here from eFrag. You should think all the members not willing to back off this B bomb site, and it will be Modi once again being called into action with his teammate in the vent. That's a nice flash. Victor takes down Modi, so good trading there, and it will be Spy Leader taking down Asilion. So this is going from bad to worse for SK as Pimp also charges out that vent by himself one by one, and now it's a 4 versus 2, and SK once again left in a bewildering position where they're going to have to run away from this bomb site with still about a minute to go on the clock. The bomb goes down. And the B defense is getting torn to shreds once again. eFrag looking the goods on their T side, and they've really come to play tonight.
It's not just the B side defense though, it's the A side as well when they choose to go there. Seemingly eFrag having their way at the moment with SK and making them look like bots at the moment in all seriousness, because they're absolutely bullying them around the map. They're controlling the tempo, they're winning every single aim duel, and despite the fact that Freeze is making a couple of nice AWP shots now to try his best to save that all for the next round, potentially that might be a lost cause as Victor does swoop in on him now. And can he get the headshot? No, he can't. Freeze does convert with the third kill there, so nice work by him. But look at the scoreboard at the moment. From an SK perspective, they're struggling for frags across the board. Freeze top fragging with 8 kills after 13 rounds. That's a really worrying sign.
Yeah, and I love the strategy here from eFrag. Even when they lost that round to Freeze, when he went massive in A with the AWP and danced around the pole for a while, that was the only round that SK have looked like they've been in control of. But the reaction from eFrag hasn't then to go buy an AWP and try and out-AWP duel Freeze, which has been what a lot teams have done. They've tried to get the jump on Freeze by trying to out-AWP him, and he's done a great job there as Pimp gets a nade kill and also a Famis spray down. And now the 3 Famises and the AWP will be put to the test as the AKs roll into town, so to speak, and it will be Dreamer and Spy Leader opening this one up, and now it will be Magic Boy trading one, but Victor takes him down as well. Modi left in a 2 versus 1, 23 and 11 on Victor and Dreamer, so very winnable here for Modi as he pushes into the bomb site. Will take down one, and that will leave Dreamer in a 1 versus 1, but good positioning here. Modi's sort of aware, but it'll be Dreamer nailing that headshot. Great awareness there, lines him up perfectly, takes him down. SK left reeling once again. They'll be on the last round of the half force buying into Famises and a CZ. And this is all eFrag, and they're looking great at the moment, Nick.
Well, the greatest facet of SK's play yesterday that I guess lent itself to such a good result was ultimately their downfall today. I mean, they're not making the trade frags. Yesterday, they were on point. There was always a teammate close by that if the first guy didn't make the frag, the second was there to clean up and get that frag on the board to square the ledger. But at the moment, eFrag are just winning all of these aim duels and just overwhelming SK, it feels as though. They're struggling to even buy frag at the moment, and Pimp lets loose with the grenade. Perhaps a sign of aggression there. He's actually lobbed that grenade all the way back to about T-spawn. Didn't do too much damage with that as a result, but really, it'd be understandable from an SK perspective why there would be aggression and frustration, because nothing's working for them.
Yeah, but it won't work for them too well. I'm not sure that I like the prospect of SK having to defend for this long with these Famises. I think the longer the round goes on with the Famis, the more you get exposed, the more you're out of position, the less plays you can make with that rifle compared to the AK and the power and the precision of that rifle. And this Molotov's going to be great from Spy Leader to force Freeze out of position, and now he's going to get spotted and probably will get taken down. You see the AKs rolling in there. Dreamer picking up Magic Boy straight away, and he'll look for another target. He does. He picks up a second. Can he get a third? No. Pimp will trade out, but you can see the damage the AKs are able to do here. Modi on the fritz, but he's not able to convert that one. eFrag 13-2. What a demolition. What a display of power there from eFrag. But is it more about what SK didn't do for you, Nick, than what eFrag did do? Or do you think that that's just a really solid half from eFrag?
That's just straight Counter-Strike from eFrag. I'm giving full credit to them. I know that they made SK look quite ordinary, but this is the same SK that played yesterday and looked incredible. I think that this is just a really good sign of eFrag playing well. We said that so far in this Counterpit season, we've seen two sides of eFrag. We've seen good eFrag, aka the team that wrecks everybody online and has a reputation for being these giant overlords of the Counter-Strike scene on the internet.
Yep.
But we've also seen eFrag that's been making their opposition look really, really amazing without any need to do so. But you can see when these guys are hitting their shots, why they've been able to take down some of the top name teams, because they really, I think, have a clear structure imposed on the game, whether they be moving very, very quickly onto sites They all move with purpose and they all understand what they're doing. But even when they change it up completely and go very, very passive and very slow, as we saw them do, particularly at the beginning of that half, as they were really crafting out those round victories, they were, like you said, they were all positioned in deliberate spots. They all understood what each other was covering. They were working well together. And I think this is a team that's really, over time, they've been together for 2 years, really reaping the benefits of having those different game styles that they can rely on at different points in a match.
And I think it just screamed to me of the level of preparation from eFrag. They've definitely watched that demo yesterday of the VOD of SK rather, but we'll just cut quickly to the piss around as SK try and make their way into B, but it'll be Dreamer trying to defend that B bomb site from underneath and Bubble up on top there, getting some damage down onto Modi, who's going to plant the bomb. It'll be a great open plant here for SK to try and defend it as a 5 versus 5, but Modi on just 1 HP. It'll be Magic Boy jumping into the vent, picking up a double, so that's great work there before Bubble manages to convert one. Pimp will be the deciding factor. He will take down 2. Great piss around from SK, but, I mean, it's a great start, but so far to go.
I don't think this is the sort of team, though, that you'd ever feel comfortable, particularly against this sort of opposition there in Canopy, where I think by any stretch of the imagination, you'd say equal pegging with SK, if not below. I don't think you'd ever rule out SK. They've got so many talented players, and whilst the first half certainly did not go their way, eFrag did a fantastic job of controlling the tempo and getting some great round wins on the board in quick succession as well, particularly when they got on a roll. SK, all it needs, you just feel is perhaps 1 or 2 good rounds going their way, 1 or 2 little moments of Lord Gabe and luck to grant them an opportunity to get that momentum going, and they'd be right back in it. You can see at the moment they're navigating this anti-eco round with some success. They've taken some damage, but crucially all 5 members still surviving. Spy Leader, the in-game leader for eFrag himself, has gone down. So whilst they had invested somewhat eFrag into this round, it doesn't look as though it will prove to be any good for them in this instance.
No, I think that SK should run over this fairly quickly as Victor does pick up a kill and Bubble fires down, and this will be troublesome for SK because they're just going down like wildfire. Now Bubble's in a 1 versus 1. He's got a deagle. He spots him out, but Pimp's obviously got the AK advantage here, but it could be that Bubble can nail him. He does! Bubble picks up that kill. SK go down on Eco on what looked like your generic smoke flash. Just take out the choke points. SK have rolled into a stack, committed to the site, and Bubble has been left in a situation where he's able to just dodge around, pick up a few deagle kills, win the round for his team, and that should be enough to get eFrag across the line in this game. That should tilt SK pretty hard.
And that is the first round in this match where I'm left almost shaking my head at SK. I think by virtue of the fact that the other rounds in the match had been really a great performance from eFrag, that was really lackluster there from SK. Like you said, that should have been a stock standard anti-eco round as they got that first frag, moved in towards the B side, and then found themselves hapless, not supporting their teammates. Punished as a result, deservingly so.
And they will charge on A to try and get the advantage there. Spy Leader goes down and Modi picks up a double, and Magic Boy picks up one as well. So SK have just run over the A defenses of eFrag. This is a crazy back and forth at the moment, and as you said, you can never rule out SK from any of these rounds just because of the individual skill level of the players, and Modi just doubling up with that deagle, and he's still on 100 HP, so he hasn't taken a lick of damage at all after getting those 2 kills. He'll pick up a Famis. It will be Bubble fighting off a Cillion. Both players from eFrag should try and save this one, but Freeze is well aware of their positioning. It's just, can SK collapse quickly enough to make this one work for them? But, I mean, it's a lot worse for SK losing the round that they lost purely because of the scoreline, but eFrag won't be exactly ecstatic with the way that one ended either.
At the same time, though, I think they'll be justifying the fact that Modi got 2 sick 1Bs to open up that site. So a little bit of context to that round, perhaps they might be justifying as a write-off in that instance. But you're right. I think as this draws on and on and on a bit, maybe a little bit frustrating for eFrag, who see themselves quite rightly on the verge of getting that first map win on the board.
Yeah, but if you're struggling with inconsistency, as eFrag often has, those sort of rounds can actually be very detrimental to your I guess, momentum in the game and your confidence levels. So let's not write anyone off here as you see Bubble and Victor picking up 2 kills, 1 apiece, and Spy Leader also tagging Pimp down to just 8 HP. Bubble survives on 1 HP, but it's a 5 versus 3, and Pimp's on red health, so it's almost a 5 versus 2 for eFrag. And SK just throwing caution to the wind, running out mid at what they would have to assume would have been either a force buy or an eco round.
Oh my goodness gracious, what is happening at the moment? They're capitulating. SK struggling to put these easy rounds, and I say easy, of course, quite liberally, in the sense that it is against a Aussie-bought E-Frag team, who are a little strong aimers, but in any case, you'd think that 99 times out of 100, this should be SK comfortably winning the rounds, and they're making it look very difficult at the moment, as all of a sudden, Freeze does take down one, but he's got 3 more to contend with. Surely this will be E-Frag getting up to that 15th round win on the board, and SK have gone and thrown away another round. This is unbelievable at the moment.
Yeah, and crucially for me, Dreamer's been on with his aim, and he has 100 points of health and the rifle available to E-Frag. So the best possible situation here, and Spy Leader, after getting 2 kills in mid, has booked the rotation. He's picked up a triple with a 5-7, launching his team to match point, and now it'll be SK needing 11 straight rounds just to draw overtime. And they will obviously force by this one because the match is on the line and ready to go to E-Frag, but this should be a pretty standard round for E-Frag to close out the game, and I think that the result of them playing great CS in the first half has maybe affected SK's confidence levels, and now E-Frag are the ones who are in the box seat, but Asilion opens up onto Spy Leader, and are we set for another back and forth here, Nick?
Surely not, but I wouldn't doubt it at the moment. We can see each team struggling to get 2 consecutive rounds in this second half. Obviously, that would favour E-Frag in the long run, as they are now on 15 rounds, but for the time being, you can see that the A defense has actually been eliminated. I'm not sure if SK realise they just shouted as we see Modi rip the head off NK on long range, running 1D, showing that last round was not a fluke. But how on earth are we only seeing these glimpses of brilliance coming out from SK? It's not as though the talent's not there, but they seemingly only choose to display it at moments when the match is already lost. Unbelievable play. We do see Dreamer, they're ripping the head off Modi now, trying to in some way get some retribution for his teammate's death, but it's getting very close.
Yeah, this one's not over yet at all as Pimp finally strolls in there and takes down Dreamer. I thought they were an outside chance for a moment there of coming back well and participating in that round as Bubble takes down one, should take down a second, but it'll all be all about Victor trying to save this weapon now for SK, but Modi, that Deagle headshot onto the guy at Car, he's literally got 1 or 2 pixels to aim at from that distance with a pistol. He's run across, and I mean, the full force and power of Gaben in full effect there. The Lord and Master of Counter-Strikers enabled pistols to have that kind of devastating effect. But I'm okay with it because it's a Deagle. The Deagle has always had that power in every version of Counter-Strike, so at least that one's consistent. But now E-Frag are putting the acid on once again. They've force-sport, and they're 2 kills up. Trying to close out this game. SK can't win a round with rifles. This is almost inexplicable.
Oh, I don't know, it's almost comical at this point, surely, as we see SK Freeze eventually showing that M4A1S actually does have some bullets in it. I guess erasing the theory that potentially their guns had no bullets as to why they were losing those anti-eco rounds, but he'll look for a second, tag Streamer quite low, but can't get the job done, but SK's still up against it at the moment. They're in this round 4 situation, and their first map lives depend on them being able to find a solution in this round. They're just looking for holes, probing the defense at the moment. It will be Modding though, he's caught off guard by Spy Leader. Again, the pistols, proving to be the downfall here of Frisson. Why not, says Bubble, as he also gets one. And all of a sudden, Magisboy finds himself without any teammates here, Pete. He will get that bomb planted. A 1-on-3. Has it all to do Dreamer and Bubble, crucially quite low in this instance for him. So perhaps that shining glimmer of hope that his teammates will be communicating to him. He will position himself at headshot, but I think recognizing that he needs to push here and try and get some map information, even a kill or 2.
Yeah, and he will be in a very bad position in the end. He had all the time in the world to pick up a good post-plan position, but E-Frag will stroll in, pick up the last kill, pick up the map, 16-5, going the way of E-Frag, convincing fashion, dominant T side, and one of the patchiest CT sides you'll ever see, as well as a patchy T side from SK. So the second half of that game was extremely random, extremely CS, I could say CSGO, pretty standard back and forth eco rounds, and yeah, E-Frag pulling away, starting their bid to keep their Croatian dreams alive. 1-0 to them at the moment, and looking strong heading into map 2.
The second map was certainly, or the second half I should say, was certainly random with rounds going back and forth. I actually don't probably place too much stock in what we saw in the second half.